Today, we're jumping into a really beautiful story. It's all about faith, about destiny, and about the incredible divine power of a goddess who is said to have created absolutely everything we know.
So let me ask you this. Can you imagine a goddess who created the entire universe, not with some big chaotic explosion, but with just a simple, gentle smile? It's a pretty amazing thought, isn't it? And that very idea is at the absolute heart of our story today.
So who is she? Well, the answer is Kushmanda. She is the fourth form of the Divine Mother, Durga, and she is worshipped on the fourth day of the Navaratri festival. She really embodies a unique and powerful creative force.
You know, her name really tells us everything we need to know. Let's break it down. Ku means a little, Ushma means warmth or energy, and Anda is the cosmic egg. So put it together, and Kushmanda is the one who, with just a little bit of warmth from her smile, created the entire universe. The stories say that before her, there was nothing but darkness.
Now, when you see pictures of her, she's often shown as Ashtabhuja, which means the eight-armed goddess. And in those 8 hands, she holds the whole shebang. You've got tools of creation, like the water pot and divine nectar. You've got symbols of cosmic order, like the discus and mace. And tools for focus, like the rosary. I mean, she is literally holding the entire cycle of life, right there in her hands.
So yeah, creating the cosmos is a pretty big deal. But she also has this very direct, very personal role. She's revered as the goddess of health, the one who can grant well-being and wipe out illness. And it's exactly this power that's at the center of the incredible story we're about to get into.
And that brings us to this amazing tale. It's a classic, really. A story about a king's pride running smack into a princess's deep, profound wisdom.
Okay, so picture this. Our story kicks off with King Chitrasen. He's powerful, he's successful, and boy is he proud of it. One day, he gets his 7 daughters together and asks them this simple but totally loaded question. Tell me, by whose destiny do you prosper?
Well, the 6 older sisters, they know exactly what he wants to hear. They tell him, "Oh, it's all because of you, father. You provide everything." You know, they're stroking his ego. But the youngest princess, she tells a different kind of truth. She just calmly says, "I eat from my own destiny. Every person makes their own way."
Oh, you can imagine how that went over. The king is absolutely furious. His pride is shattered. And to punish her, to prove her wrong, he does something unbelievably cruel. He marries her off to a poor woodcutter who's suffering from leprosy, one of the most feared diseases back then, and he kicks her out, basically saying, "All right then, go live by your own destiny and let's see how well that works out for you."
So her ordeal is just getting started. But you know, for the princess, this isn't just a punishment. It's a test of the very thing she believes in with all her heart. Life in the forest is, as you can imagine, incredibly hard. But her hope gets a spark one day when she overhears some women talking about the healing power of goddess Kushmanda. And this sets her on a path of pure, unwavering devotion. She gets an image of the goddess for her tiny hut, and she prays with such sincerity, such a pure heart, that the goddess actually appears to her in a dream, promising that her husband will be cured.
And in her prayers, she makes this simple, beautiful vow. This isn't some kind of transaction. It's a promise that comes from pure faith, a complete and total surrender to the divine power she now so strongly believes in.
And you know, when faith is that strong and that pure, miracles really can happen. This is that moment in the story, the big turning point, where divine grace steps in.
And the promise, it was kept. Just like the vision said, by the very last day of Navratri, the woodcutter's illness was gone. I don't mean it got better. It was completely gone. He was healthy, strong, a young man again, all because of his wife's incredible, unwavering devotion.
Meanwhile, destiny, the one thing the king thought he was in charge of, had a little twist waiting for him. While he's out hunting in that same forest, he gets lost and finds himself attacked by a massive crocodile.
Just as the king is fighting for his life, thinking it's all over, who shows up out of nowhere? A strong, healthy woodcutter. The man rushes in without a second thought, kills the crocodile, and drags the king to safety. And of course, the king has no idea who this hero is. He doesn't recognize the son-in-law he cast out and left for dead all those years ago.
The king is just overwhelmed with gratitude. Right then and there, he makes this huge declaration, granting his savior half of his entire kingdom. The irony is just wow.
He's just handed over half his power to the very man he threw away, all because of a destiny he refused to believe in.
Okay, so this is where it all comes together. This is the final, powerful lesson of the story, a moment of truth for the king, and a beautiful moment of validation for the princess.
So the woodcutter takes the king back to his hut to get him cleaned up. And there, the king comes face to face with his youngest daughter. The recognition is immediate. He sees her husband, healthy and strong, and the full weight of what he did, his arrogance, his cruelty, it all just comes crashing down on him. He's filled with so much shame, and he begs her to forgive him.
You know what's amazing? Her response has absolutely no "I told you so." Not a trace of it. Just grace and wisdom and forgiveness. She comforts him and reminds him this was never about being right or wrong. This was just the truth of destiny, made possible by the miracle and grace of goddess Kushmanda.
This whole story is just a perfect illustration of what the goddess represents. Devotion to Kushmanda is believed to bring health, yes, and prosperity, but on a deeper level, it teaches that our faith and our actions are what truly shape our destiny. The princess didn't just sit back and wait for her destiny to happen. She prayed for it, she worked for it, and she believed in it.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to mull over, doesn't it? We talk about destiny all the time, usually as something that happens to us. But this story, it suggests something totally different. It asks us to really think about whether destiny is something we just passively receive or if it's something we actively build every single day with our own hands, our own hearts, and our own faith.